Alright, in this Photoshop video, what I'm going to do is take this guy out of this picture and put him on this desk and try to make it look somewhat realistic. So first thing we're going to do is, you can use your quick selection and go around this guy and try to select the right things. You know what though, he's surrounded by white. It's a little faster, a little better to just use your magic wand. So hold this one down. There's your magic wand. I'm going to select the white. My tolerance is only at 10 right now. Let's see how good a job that does. It looks pretty good, and if I copy it and let's say go to this page and paste it in, well, see, that's one problem. So if you did it like that, let's undo that, and what we need to do is select inverse. So now the dancing ants around him, that's what's actually included. So let's copy that, paste that in, and see what it looks like. And you'll notice he's got like this white edge along him. So to get rid of that, you can do feathering, or what I like to do, you can zoom in here. Let's look real close. And we don't want to get any white in there at all. So I'm going to do select and do modify, and we'll do contract. Okay, and we'll just do 1 pixel. And it brings in the edge just enough so when I copy this now and paste it in, he should look pretty good. And if he's not, you could do some feathering, but let's not get into that. Okay, so let's look at the edges of him. He looks pretty good to me. And so now I'm going to take him, using my selection tool up here. I'm going to resize him down. And I can just hold down shift to keep his perspective correct. And while I resize this, make sure you hold down shift. And let's just put him right here on top of this notepad here. All right. Or we could set him on the desk. Let's put him on the desk. All right. I'm going to hit apply. After I try clicking off it, I'm trying to grab another selection tool. It's saying, do you want to try to apply this transformation? Yep, I do. I hit apply. And I will say, when you're resizing, I believe there's like a go button. Yeah, whatever. Let's just leave it like this. And let's zoom in here now. So he doesn't look too bad, One thing I'll say is, he's really not the focus point in this picture. So maybe we should actually have him up here, more in focus of the pen. Or maybe I will put him on the pad of paper. Let's do that. Let's put him on the pad of paper. Okay, let's zoom in here though. What you'll notice is right now it just looks like he's kind of floating. What's going on? We need to do a better job than that. So I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to set it in between the two, between the background and him. And I'm just going to grab a brush. Okay, and I'm just going to use a normal brush for now. It's going to be black, and just by simply going like that, just by putting a drop shadow in there, it kind of looks like, oh, well, he's got a shadow. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to leave that brush in there. And the opacity matters. You don't want to go too high. I had mine at like 68. If you went 100%, it just look like marker. That's way too dark in this situation. So really, I'm going to drop mine down to somewhere in the 20s and put that in there, and you can kind of see, okay, that's somewhat realistic, right? And I can also go in here, and I'm going to do Control Plus, and I'm going to do a smaller brush. And what I want to do is, I'm going to assume the light's coming from top. What I can do is, I can go one more time kind of under his feet. All right, a little bit like that. Okay. And, I can kind of even maybe connect the two. So it'd probably be a little darker under his feet and right under his body like that. So that's not so bad either. That's looking pretty good. Now you'll notice this white is actually around his edge still. We don't want that. So let's go back up to his layer. And I'm going to use that magic wand again. I'm going to click in the open area. Because think about it. If I turn off the background here, this is really what's on this layer. This isn't even included either. All right. So if I do that, I'm selecting everything but him. Okay. And again, I can do select inverse. Or let's keep it that way. I have everything selected but him. So let's go in here for a second and look what's going on with his feet. See this white edge? We don't like it. So I'm going to do that same thing, that contract thing, except in this case, since I have everything but him selected, I'm going to go to select and do grow. Okay, and let's do that again. Or again, I can do modify, and I can do expand, and I'll say 2 pixels this time. See what that looks like. Maybe that's a little too far. You can kind of see it's cutting into his feet. So let's just do, don't want to do fine edges. Select, expand, we'll just do 1 pixel. Hit OK. I'm going to hit now delete, because if you look at it, you back up and you see it's everything but him. Okay, And just by hitting delete, it should be taking off that white little edge that's going around. There we go. That's looking a lot better. We don't see that white edge anymore. So if originally, maybe I should have taken off a little more. And I'm going to go back to that little layer 2, grab my brush once more, and I can kind of go around these feet as well. You know, something like that. All right. Looking pretty good. So if I'm happy with that, I could leave it alone. I guess one other thing I should probably do is think about, you know, he seems a little bit too focused, or like he's in focus, everything else a little more dull. So really what I should do is probably go up to his layer and blur him just a little bit. So let's try this out. So I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, okay? And as long as my preview on it will show up here. So if I turn that preview off, you can see how he's very crisp looking, and you'll notice it on yours more than mine. If I click on preview, he gets just a little bit not as focused. And if you move him in this preview, you can actually see the effect. All right, so preview on and off. And that probably looks a little more realistic. So I'm gonna hit OK on that and leave that blur on there. That's looking pretty good. And one other thing I should consider is doing an adjustment layer. So I can click on brightness and contrast or any of these other ones. I think the lighting looks pretty good. He's maybe a little dark, so I could do brightness and contrast here. And again, I want to press this little button right here. This is going to make it so it only applies to the layer below it. And I could maybe brighten them up just a touch. Or, you know, you can take contrast and see what that should happen. You know, I could go up or down with this. If I compare a suit to the pen, maybe I would want to turn contrast up just a little bit. You know, you can kind of play around with this, see what looks good to you. I think they should both be up just a little bit. But then again, his hand's a little bit white, so maybe you want to go so high. All right, but I think that looks pretty good right there. So I hope you're happy with your image. Give it a try, and good luck.